Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this course of environmental adaptation of animals. You have now understood completely what's the purpose of these round tables. So I hope we will get good conversation and discussions on the following 7 weeks. And I'm quite astonished that we have so many people interested in this course, because when I invented that, okay, we should have this kind of course, 6 credits in environmental adaptation, I thought that, okay, it could be maybe 2020 or 2021, because now last year we had the advanced course in animal physiology made by Matti Vornanen, and he was discussing a lot of this same kind of stuff. So perhaps I was thinking that, okay, students can maybe that they are not so interested on participating, but so we have students over here in Joensuu, and then we have students also in Kuopio, and students that are somewhere else. And for those students that are not over here, I have now streaming of this lecture to YouTube. And so the idea of this course, actually we have had the course that was under the same name about 10 years ago, and then it was modulated to advanced level course on animal physiology, and now we are back in the original name. And when I made this, decided, okay, I will have this course, I didn't know how it's going to be. So it has some learning outcomes. You can see that, okay, you should understand the cellular and molecular mechanisms of how the environmental factors are affecting, and then we have a lot of different kind of animal physiology on this course. And the only thing that, okay, that was very clear for me is that, okay, I want to have this in flipped classroom work. So I'm not going to give you perhaps 30 hours of lectures, because you do probably have something else at that time, but we will have video lectures, and then we have discussions over here every week, and then online discussion forum, etc. And the idea that I wanted to make, that, okay, I knew that, okay, how we had when I want to get a new course, the first thing that I had to decide, okay, how we can pass the course. And on the list it says that, okay, there is 1 lecture, and then some online lectures, and 14 hours of group work. Well, I'm still not sure on how many hours of online lectures there will be, because it's still under process. And one thing that, okay, I just copied that, okay, we will have final exam. But if it's okay for you, I'd rather have 7 exams for you. So instead of studying 7 weeks, which covers practically this whole book, and then having a final exam that you fail or pass, we will have weekly challenges and weekly tasks that you can make with Moodle. So we don't have to be in the lecture room for getting nervous on the final exam at all. So we have activity also. So it's not completely online course where you are working on your own with the computer, but we have this group work every week, and you get some additional points. And so every week, if you participate on Thursdays, so you can get 5 points for the participation. And then if you are active on the online discussion, you will get another 5 points every week. And the total maximum in the points, which means that then 140 points are needed to pass this course. And well, so that means that 50% of the exercises in Moodle should be done perfectly. All the exams should be done with 50% accuracy. But the good point in these activity points is that they are quite easy way to increase your grading. Actually quite a lot, so you can get 70 additional points on this activity. And so we have a routine for the next 7 weeks. There are online lectures and PowerPoint slides in the Moodle. And then you can watch the videos or look the PowerPoint slides, whatever you want. And beside that, we have these online discussions in the Slack environment that is helping you to understand and process. And if you have new ideas that pops up, or especially if you find any problems in the lecture. So, okay, the teacher was saying this, but it's not true, and etc. So you can get additional points from participating on this discussion. And then we have this on-site group work. So meeting every week, I will give you some challenges over there here and on the focus, etc. And it's easier to participate if you already know the substance. So that's why please at least follow a little bit on the weekly what's going on on every week teaching. And then what we are going to have some Moodle challenges. So it's a Moodle test that is not a right or wrong answer. So, but perhaps you have to write a little bit on that. On that subject, etc. Or there can be some review of some articles, etc. And this gives you every week 30 points. But the good point is that, okay, these challenges, you don't have to make the first ones before the next Thursday, but you can make it also later. But then we have this quiz section, which gives you a little bit less points, because it's only is it this or that, of choose the right answer, etc. And this quiz session, so you have to do it to get the access for the next week. So even when it's for some of you, there is nothing new in some week material, then you can just make the quiz section to go through for the next week. But the good one is that, okay, that gives you on some kind of the tracks that, okay, this is at least the minimum that we should be able to answer on these teams. And the good point also is that, okay, from the quiz section every week, there will be quizzes, and if you, for some reason, fail on the weekly quiz, well, you can repeat it. There will be a certain latency, perhaps, so you can make the exam again, perhaps after 1 hour or something like that. So you have time to little bit review the material and then you can make the quiz, and if you get 50% right, okay, you are ready to move on the next subject. And so this is kind of the routine for the next 7 weeks. And how it works in practice. The idea is that, okay, you need 140 points to pass the course. So if you are here only to get the 8 grades, 8 credits, to continue on the course, you need 5 points in the quiz section every week, and if during the 7 weeks, that means 35 points. And when you are participating on the contact period, additional points from each every week. So that means then that, okay, you only need 35 points in these challenges to get the acceptance. And that can be easily done by making only challenges during the whole course, and even those you don't have to make 100% right. So even say 60% accuracy is enough on these. So you can actually choose which teams on you want to focus more. Are you more interested on the energy metabolism, or are you interested more on the circulation or neural activity, or etc. And so you will have quite large freedom. And then, of course, we have some students that are thinking, okay, they may fail if they get 4 out of 5. Well, in that case, you need 252 points. And if you are motivated, you can quite easily make all the quizzes right, because it's all in the PowerPoint slides. And then by participating on the weekly meetings, then you need still 112 points to get the excellent grade. And even then, you don't have to make all the 7 challenges. You make 5 challenges with 80% accuracy. That's enough to get the highest grade. Of course, you can make all the 7 with 100% accuracy, but unfortunately, we don't have scale so I can't give you 6 out of 5. Okay. And then, for those students that are not participating on the weekly meetings, it's a little bit more challenging, but even for them, they only have to make 6 challenges in 80% accuracy. So this is quite easy way to get the grade. Okay, then I have the pre-test for you, and about half of the students were answering. Well, it doesn't matter so much, but it's still okay. Majority of us are Finnish biology students. Then we have quite nicely, we have these visitors from the environmental biology. And then we have some that are in Joensuu, in Kuopio campus in the environmental sciences, and then some teachers of other subjects rather than biology. But you can see that, okay, that's why there could be also information that is can be a little bit too easy for you, but perhaps it's useful for some other people. And when we had this pre-test, okay, almost all of you have had some animal physiology course. Almost all of you have participated in cell biology or field experiences, or a little bit less on biochemistry or molecular biology. And so about half of them half of you have studied molecular biology or participated on online courses. And for those who have been in either my or other people online courses or flipped classroom courses, well, you easily can pass this course because okay, you know how to study. But those who have never been on making the courses in Moodle environment, etc., there are few recommendations because you have all the freedom. So I'm not going to ask you that, okay, could you please come to the lecture room at that certain time so I can give you the lecture, but you can watch the videos or read the PowerPoint slides in the daytime, in the nighttime, during the weekdays or during the weekend, whatever. But that also gives you quite much responsibility that, okay, you are now in charge of your studies. And that's why it's always a little bit more challenging to make online courses than when to participate and sleep in the lecture room. Okay. The reasons why you are here, that was a very nice results. That okay, most of you are here to increase the knowledge on adaptation, and also to learn also some other things than the mice. Okay, good thing is that because in mice or human physiology we have very nice courses available online in the internet, but not so many on this environmental adaptation. But it was also good to notice that about 1/3 of you are here to get the grades to fill the curriculum. And okay, that's a honest way to think. And also that okay, this course is suits for the calendar because there is with one lecture or one meeting every week, and even then you don't have to participate on that. So okay, that's very easy to suit with calendar. And you had some expectations. Most of you wanted to learn the mechanisms of adaptation, and well, some were also wanted to learn that okay, they have never been in these flipped classroom courses. And some were even to get the high grades to graduate. So it's we are not we have different kind of background, so different kind of background knowledge on these subjects, and we have different kind of goals. So some are here to get the grades to graduate, and that's fine for me also. Okay, well, this year, this course is based on this book, Hill Animal Physiology. Can be found, I think, in library, but there's only a few copies, I think so. But you don't need the textbook on this course if you don't want it. And previously, on the same course we have had quite much the same material, but it's now in different order, and it's a little bit better graphics also. And we have these video lectures that are available in Moodle, and then some part are also in the YouTube. But if I most probably there is a very limited number of YouTube videos I'm going to have because I don't have time for that. And then we have a Slack discussion forum. So because in the Moodle there's also a place where we could have a discussion, but never in my lifetime, or never I've heard that any teacher has been able to have good conversation in the Moodle. It's always so slow that okay, you first one had to get on the computer or whatever, and then on the internet, and then log in the Moodle, and then go in the on this course page, and then start discussion. The Slack is quite nicely working in all kind of cell phones, so I can get here immediately message that okay, someone was asking that okay, he or she didn't understand what was the purpose of this and this. So I can write down, okay, I'm walking the dog, I will answer you after 10 minutes. So we can get this discussion not only on during the office hours, etc. And then we have the Moodle in Env Adapt without any restricted keys for the course at all. And what kind of content we will have there? Well, during the first week, well, the week starts always in my calendar on Thursday and ends on the next Thursday. The first week is on animals and environments. It's kind of introduction for these topics. And there's a molecular biology, some things that okay you perhaps already know from your bachelor studies, etc. And then on these topics we will have a contact meeting next week. And then the second week is on energy. And so how our intestinal organs are modulated by the environment where we are adapted, and how we are what are the problems in when we are in cold temperatures, etc. for the energy saving, etc. Then we will have 1 week for neurons, 1 week for hormones, 1 week for muscles, and 1 week for respiration and circulation. And finally, we get on the nitrogen excretion, so meaning that, okay, something to do with kidneys. And then that's on mid of the March, we have finally covered completely the substance, and perhaps we have learned something. And because we don't need any additional dates after this 14th of March, we don't need it because we are not going to have the final exam. And this timetable is still for you that are participating in this as a flipped classroom. So it's just because we have the contact times, so at a certain time, and on these, for example, end of January, we will consider on the first week theme, and then on the 7th February, we are considering on the energy metabolism, etc. But this course is actually open throughout the year. So if you are studying here in the University of Eastern Finland, even next fall, you can still continue. Or if you are studying next year, you can still continue doing this course. So it's actually open all the time. And the only limitation that I have, that each student, whether they start now, like you, or next week, or next fall, they have to go in this order and make the quizzes so that they cover the whole course. Okay, let's have the detailed week content. So during this first week, it's kind of introduction. There are some on how the animals are living on this planet, and what kind of environmental factors are affecting, and then on some background information that okay you should actually be quite familiar with. And even on this first week, there's about 4 hours of video lectures, about 200 PowerPoint slides. So it means that there's a lot of things to learn. And I try to make, now during this weekend, also open this quiz section and the challenges that you could make. And then next Thursday we will have the contact meeting, and of course we can have the discussion on the online. And then the next week we are considering on the energy metabolism, on the digestion and aerobic and anaerobic form of metabolism. And I always are trying to put as much examples as I have that are made in our Nordic countries, like in Finland, and that's why most probably you get some points of that, okay, how, for example, Crucian carb is working in this. And then we will have the like in the frigid places, that's very nice for this kind of weather. And then in March, on the February, we will have neurons. And why we have the neurons is that because in the end of this week, there's also the biological clocks. Because then we have the inner clock that is saying that, okay, now it's daytime, now it's nighttime, and that affects so hugely on our physiology. And then on the endocrines level, then we can get on the reproduction and also on our annual clock. So we have daily clock, but then also we have the changes in the daily clock, mean that, okay, now it's time to have a spring and perhaps some offspring, etc. And as you can see that, okay, each week there are quizzes and challenges and so, etc. And then end of February, we are considering on the movement, how the muscles are working, and are they working in the same way in all the organisms, etc. And then on the carbon dioxide and oxygen, it's on the circulation, and also we are considering quite a lot in the diving of marine mammals. So what happens when we are diving, and how we can get us a little bit better divers. So should we have more oxygen in the lungs or more oxygen in the circulation or in the muscles, etc. And then the last week we will get on the salt physiology, because that's even for animals in here in the north, it can be a problem that, okay, if you are we have some insects that are tolerating freezing, for example. So they are frozen there. And then one of the problems is that, okay, actually they are losing water at the same time. So that's why these water and salt with physiology is also quite important over here. But of course then we will end in the mammals of deserts and dry savannas, which is something that we don't have here in Finland. Okay, so this kind of content we will have during the next 7 weeks. I hope you will find some interesting parts to follow and some new stuff that you didn't already know, and we will have fine contact discussions on the contact meetings and online chat, etc. And that's quite much the thing that I have to say for today. So what are your thoughts on this course? Questions, ideas? Yep.
I want to ask you, you showed for the first week that we're going to study 200 slides, but it was like for just the first week?
Just the first week.
Okay, then we're going to have 200 slides each week, right?
Practically, yes. But they don't have text from one end. So it's
okay.
yeah. So it's unfortunately, there's a lot of pictures. And it's also that, okay, I just wanted to see that, okay, actually there's a lot of stuff, but the good point is that, okay, if you have background in biological studies, then most of that is something that, okay, you already know quite well. For example, there's a few videos on how what is the cell membrane and what are the phospholipids. So most probably you have heard of phospholipids before and etc. But then later on there's those videos we will get on the differences in the phospholipids between animals that are living in cold temperatures and warm temperatures. But still, that's 200 pages is a lot. And I was quite scared when I calculated, okay, 7 times 200 is something that definitely don't use the printer. and because that would be horrible to read this whole book and come to one exam and, okay, I didn't understand this question and then fail. So that's why we are having it in short quizzes and challenges where you can have all the material with you. So it's getting a little bit easier. Other questions, ideas? You may also ask in Finnish or Swedish or whatever. Okay, so someone was asking actually on this when we have somewhere there in the beginning that because all the material now in the Moodle is in English, but we might have some Finnish students that are a little bit afraid to write answers or essays in English. So if you have some challenges where you have to write, you can also do it in, at least in Finnish or Swedish or English. That's quite much the languages I can read. But I didn't want to make this whole thing in completely on two different languages like Finnish and English because it's let's have this in as an English course. And the good one is that that now although we have this weekly exercise or weekly group work and then challenges and quizzes, is that actually you can, if you are studying a lot during certain weeks, you can a little bit get this course a little bit easier and just finish the quiz section. And especially if you are know very well some part of this, for example, the energy metabolism is very, you know everything, then you don't have to just short review on the PowerPoint slides and make the quiz section to continue on the next week. But
sorry, what is the group work part?
okay, the group work every week we will meet here and I will give you some kind of challenges that are a little bit similar that you are doing your own in the Moodle, but now you can work together with other people.
Okay.
So it's yeah, so I have this online discussion and the group work because in Finland in this time of year it's dark and miserable all the time. So I want to have some social activity. So it's I'm not sure what we are going to do next week, but I try to invent some games or something to read or whatever.
So it's like in contact meetings.
Yeah. And yep. Okay. So we are not having. Where was this? Okay. It's okay. The discussion forum is in UFF Slack, and Slack is quite nice. Okay, let's have one or less. Uh-huh. Slack is a team meeting tool, and it's very nice because it works very well in all the cell phones, etc. And it's actually decided for large companies and large research groups. And that's why it works a little bit differently than Facebook, which is selling all your information. But so that's why we can have you should actually I have actually asked that okay anyone who has the UF or student.uf email address, you should actually be get the access on this Slack group immediately. But then if you are using whatever other email address, then actually you have to first ask me, okay, then I can add your address there and make you make an invitation for you. And unfortunately, I can't remember my password. Okay. So anyway, it should be quite simple to sign in and etc. And I have in the other computer over, and it's quite often used in for example U.S. Universities, and now for example in the Ministry of Education we have a Slack group, etc. So it's getting a little bit more common. And because it's so simple. And the good point is that I have had in several courses this Slack. The good point is that, okay, you can just decide on which name you want to use. So for my courses in the bachelor level, I always have one Spider-Man or a Batman or whatever. So they can easier ask stupid questions. So okay, because it could be quite problematic to okay, I'm there with my own email address and my own name. Okay, I didn't understand this. And but then if you are having an acronym, then it's easier that okay, you can okay. Is it going this and this way? No, it's not going that way. So it's easier to ask if you can have the possibility to use acronym also. More questions? Yes, that's quite nicely overviewed of the cause at the moment. So I think I just finish this with again welcome you everybody on this course. I hope you enjoy. Although we don't have so much, we are not going to have 30 hours of lectures in the lecture room, but we have group meetings to discuss with your friends and then perhaps learn more. So just welcome.